Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? This is Profesor Pablo and welcome back to another episode of Learn Spanish with Profesor Pablo. As we like to say, buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. Siempre es un gran momento para aprender español con Profesor Pablo. Soy yo, Profesor Pablo. That's me, Profesor Pablo. All right, the present tense is a foundation that we must lay for future advanced level communications in Spanish. And so we're going to make sure there are like 8 or 9 or 10 different types of present tense verbs that we need to look at. We've already looked at regular verbs. Now, most of the verbs in the Spanish language are regular. You just conjugate them and there's nothing funny that happens with them. However, there are about 8 or 9, maybe 10 other groups of verbs where something different happens in the conjugation of the verbs in the present tense. It might not seem like a lot, but those verbs are going to keep reappearing and they're going to be the foundation for advanced level verb communication. So we've got to make sure we get a strong foundation. So this is our second type of present tense verbs. We've already done the regular verbs. Now we're going to do the present tense. We like to call them go verbs, like the old rock group, the Go-Go's, right? The go verbs. And we call them go verbs because in the I form of the present tense, they all end in go. You see the go, 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 go. You see the go, go, go. And down here you see the go. Okay? So we want you to remember that the go verbs happen only in the yo form of the present tense. Let's take a look. Hacer is to do or to make. Poner is to put. Valer is to be worth. Caerse to fall. Traer is to bring. Salir is to leave. The only reason I put it in red with this group is because these are all ER verbs, and I just want to distinguish it from the ones right here in purple. Decir is to tell or to say. Tener is to have. And venir is to come. And finally, oír is to hear. I believe we have 10 go verbs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tenemos 10 verbos go. Now, we know that the endings for regular verbs, for ER verbs, is o, es, a, hemos, en. Those are the endings for all ER verbs, right? But we're going to find out that with these go verbs, the yo form doesn't just take o, it takes go. So if you want to say I do or I make, it's hago. I put, pongo. Excuse me. Valgo, I am worth. Me caigo, I fall. Traigo, I bring. And salgo, I leave. Again, hago, pongo, valgo, me caigo, traigo, salgo. The reason that these are grouped together in the same cluster is because once you get done with the yo form, the go form, then the rest of the verb basically is done like a regular verb. So to conjugate hacer out, it would be hago, then it would be hac, haces, hace, hacemos, hacen. Pongo, to put, I put is pongo, but the rest of it would be pones, pone, ponemos, and ponen. When we get to valgo, I am worth, like people say, I'm worth millions of dollars. Valgo muchos millones de dólares. Valgo mucho dinero, I'm worth a lot of money. Well, that's valgo the yo form. The rest of it would be vales, vale, valemos, valen. Like if you want to say the house is worth a lot, la casa vale mucho, vale mucho. Now me caigo. Notice we have this little green underlying under the CA because when we conjugate caerse, to fall, out in the present tense, we don't include the I when we come up here to get our verb endings. Me caigo as I fall. No me caigo, I don't fall. And again, a normal person, a young person, athletic, normal person, you're not going to fall, right? No me caigo. But maybe when you're skating, rollerblading, skateboarding, me caigo mucho, I fall a lot. Me caigo, right? Unfortunately, older people fall sometimes when they get elderly and they trip over something that they may not see. And a person maybe is 85 years old and he says, me caigo mucho, I fall a lot. Well, that's unfortunate. We hope it doesn't happen. Anyways, getting back to conjugating caerse. We know it's a reflexive verb. We've studied reflexive pronouns. They are me, te, se, nos, and se. So if I want to say I fall, it's me caigo. It's the go form, right? You just have to learn it. Me caigo, I fall. Now, to get to the other forms, we're just going to take the CA, like the abbreviation for California, CA, and we're going to come up here. Caes, cae, caemos, and caen. So if we want to use a reflexive pronoun, you fall would be te caes, C-A-E-S. He or she falls, se cae, C-A-E. We fall would be nos caemos, it'd be C-A with E-M-O-S, caemos. And they fall would be se caen, C-A-E-N. Me caigo, te caes, se cae, nos caemos, and se caen. That is the verb caerse, to fall. Now, traer is to bring. Traigo is I bring. I bring food when I go to a party. Traigo comida. Llevo comida. I take food. Traigo, I bring. When you conjugate traer, you take traigo for the yo form. It's the go verb. I bring. But when you conjugate the others, forget about that I, just like we did in me caigo. In traigo, we're going to forget totally about the I. We're going to take the T-R-A and put it up here. So it goes traigo, and then it goes traes, trae, traemos, traen. Traigo, traes, trae, traemos, traen. Okay? Ellos traen comida. They bring food. Susie brings water. Susie trae agua. And salir is to leave. Okay? Salgo, that's the yo form. Salgo, take the rest of it right up here, but it's an IR verb, right? So we come up here. But notice the endings are the same. Salgo with a G-O, then we go sales, sale, but the we form is salimos with an I-M-O-S. Remember, I-R verbs in the we form in the present tense end in I-M-O-S. Salimos, we leave. And then they leave would be salen, salen. Okay? Hago, pongo, valgo, me caigo, traigo, and salgo. All right, let's practice. What are you doing to a friend? ¿Qué haces? We're working on our homework. Hacemos la tarea. They do a lot during the day. Ellos hacen mucho durante el día. I do a lot. Yo hago mucho. What are you doing, my friend? ¿Qué haces? What is he doing? ¿Qué hace? What are we doing? ¿Qué hacemos? What are they doing? ¿Qué hacen? Let's take poner. Pongo. I put money in the bank. Pongo dinero en el banco. We put money in the bank. Take the P-O-N and E-O-M-O-S. Ponemos dinero en el banco. My mom puts all of her money in the bank. Mi mamá pone todo su dinero en el banco. Let's take a look at valer. The house is worth a lot. Let's take the V-A-L and add E. La casa vale mucho. They are worth a lot. Valen mucho. Valen mucho. I am worth a lot. Valgo, right here. Valgo mucho. Caerse, we already did. I fall, me caigo. He falls would be, change the me to se, take the ca and add e. Él se cae mucho. He falls a lot. Let's say it's for they. Change the me to se, bring up the ca. Ellos se caen mucho. Traigo is I bring. What are you bringing? ¿Qué traes? ¿Qué traes? What does she bring? ¿Qué trae? What are we bringing? ¿Qué traemos? What are they bringing? ¿Qué traen? ¿Qué traen? And salir, I leave at 1 o'clock. Salgo a la una. We leave tomorrow. Salimos mañana. You leave today. Tú sales hoy. I leave tomorrow. Yo salgo mañana. They leave on Thursday. Take the S-A-L and E-N. Salen el jueves. Okay. I know you know how to conjugate verbs, and it's just critical. It's the dirty work we need to do. We need to lay that foundation. So let's go over our go verbs again. Hago, pongo, valgo, me caigo, traigo, and salgo. We're only dealing with 10 go verbs. Here are the first 6. Hago, pongo, valgo, me caigo, traigo, and salgo. The rest of these, conjugate them like they're a regular verb. Just remember that when you do caigo and traigo, drop that I and then bring it up and put on the appropriate ending. All right, let's take a look at the verb decir. Decir is to say or to tell. The yo form, it's a go verb. Digo, I say or I tell. I tell the truth. Yo digo la verdad. I always tell the truth. Yo siempre digo la verdad. Notice that decir has an E here. But notice when we conjugate it out, it's an I all the way except for the we form. So it's digo, dices, dice, decimos, dicen. Notice that it takes the same endings, the ES, the E, then it takes the IMOS, and then it takes the EN. So it's using these endings, it's using the O and the digo. Digo, dices, dice, decimos, dicen. But this verb, that E, is switching to I in all the forms except for the we form. Digo, dices, dice, decimos, dicen. What do you say? ¿Qué dices? ¿Qué dices tú? What does mom say? ¿Qué dice mamá? What do the girls say? ¿Qué dicen las muchachas? We say yes. Decimos que sí. Dad says no. Papá dice que no. Pablo says yes. Pablo dice que sí. Tener, we've had the verb tener when we talked about being hungry, being thirsty. Tengo hambre. She's thirsty. Tiene sed. We're hot. Tenemos calor. We know how to conjugate the verb tener already, but here it is again. In the yo form, it's a go verb. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen. Now, tener, we know T-E-N, right? The T-E-N shows up in the yo form, tengo, in the we form, tenemos. But in the you and the he and she and the they form, we have an I-E. Not a problem. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen. You learn it through usage, not studying. You learn it because you hear it and you say it and you hear it and you hear it and you hear it and it's going to stick. Again, the language learning module takes care of that for us. So tener, tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen. I have, you have, he has, she has, usted, you have, it has, we have, and they have. Let's take a look at the verb venir. Venir means to come. Vengo is I come. Vengo, vengo. Okay, notice venir. We got the V-E-N here. We have the V-E-N here. But the rest of it goes to I-E, just like tener, doesn't it? I-E, I-E. Here's the E-N, here's the E-N. We're back to I-E, we're back to I-E, and here we're back to the E-N. So venir. Vengo, vienes, viene, venimos, vienen. I come to all the meetings. Vengo a todas las reuniones. Are you coming to the party? ¿Vienes a la fiesta? ¿Vienes a la fiesta? Are you coming to the game? ¿Vienes al partido? Remember, we had that contraction de and el, and we got del, like del taco. The other contraction, there are only two in Spanish. There's de plus el makes del, and then a plus el, not el with an accent. That's different. That's separate. But a plus el meaning the, a plus el is al, A-L. So, are you coming to the game? ¿Vienes al partido? Are you coming from the game? ¿Vienes del partido? Susie is coming with her friends. Susana viene con sus amigos. We're coming a little bit late. Venimos un poco tarde. Venimos un poco tarde. They're coming tomorrow. Vienen mañana. Vienen mañana. So that's the verb venir. Vengo, vienes, viene, venimos, vienen. Let's take a look at the verb to hear, oír. There's an accent on the I to break up this diphthong. Otherwise it'd be oir, oir, oir. It's oír, two separate sounds. Oigo, oigo, I hear. Oyes, O-Y-E-S. There's a Y in there, right? Some verbs are just quirky. That's the way they are. We have to learn them. Nothing will escape us. Nada. Oigo, oyes, oye, oímos. Now here's the we form. It's an IR verb, just like decir, just like venir, and so we've got the imos, imos, imos. Just like salir would be salimos in the we form. Let's go back. Oigo, I hear. Oyes, you hear. Oye, he hears or she hears. Oímos, we hear. And oyen, back to the Y. So let's take a look at oír. We've got the accent mark in the infinitive, and we also have it in the we form. Oigo, here's our go verb, and then this Y is going to pop up. We've got an IE popping up here, right? IE, IE, IE. And we've got an I here. Of course, we have the I here, but going back to these three verbs, the IE, the IE, the IE, and the same with tener. And now we have a Y popping up in the same three spots. Oigo, oyes, oye, oímos, oyen. Do you know how to conjugate the verb oír? Oyes, oyes, oyes. Oigo, oyes, oye, oímos, oyen. These are the 10 go verbs in Spanish. And later on, when you want to say things like, I want you to come to the party, it's going to be quiero que vengas a la fiesta. There's an entire tense that's incredibly important in Spanish that we will get to, and it's all based on the go verbs. The rest of this has nothing to do, but when we get to the go verb, vengo, tengo, digo, for example, I want you to tell the truth. It's quiero que digas la verdad. I want you to do well at school. Quiero que hagas bien en la escuela. I want you to set the table. Quiero que pongas la mesa. I want you not to fall. Quiero que no te caigas. I hope you bring money. Espero que traigas. So the point I want to get across is that these go verbs are absolutely critical. If you want to get out of the beginning stage of Spanish and keep moving up that continuum to fluency, we have to master the present tense and all the quirkiness of it. So here we go. Let's look at our go verbs. Hago, pongo, valgo, me caigo, traigo, salgo, digo, tengo, vengo, oigo. On a side note, isn't the whiteboard amazing? The big board, right? Like Mel Kiper calls it, the big board. Why? You can use all the different colors of ink. You can go horizontal, you can go vertical, you can have squiggly circles that are all different sizes and shapes, and you can underline. It's just amazing what you can do on a whiteboard. That's all you need. A stick, a whiteboard, and some white markers, a phone to film, and some lights to illuminate, and you're good to go. All right, getting back to our go verbs. We know that in our first cluster, these verbs, once you get past the go, just put the regular endings on it. Conjugate it like a regular verb, with two exceptions. Caerse and traer. Get rid of that I and get rid of the I here. Take up the CA and then go, you've got your caigo, right? Forget the pronoun for a moment. You've got the caigo, okay? Now, just take the CA up. We said the abbreviation for California. Caes, cae, caemos, and caen. Traer, okay? Traer, traigo, I bring, all right? Get rid of the I, just bring up the TRA and go right here. Traes, trae, traemos, traen. So these here are conjugated just like a regular verb, just like a regular ER verb, except for the go verb, right? And of course, get rid of the I here in caigo and traigo when you take it up. Decir is a story all by its own. Decir, that E changes to I, digo, dices, dice, and dicen, but in the we form, it's not. So I say, digo, dices, you say, dice, he or she says, we say, decimos, and dicen, they say. Tener, we know tener very well. The TEN, like tener, it shows up in tengo, and it shows up in tenemos. The rest of it has the IE. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen. Venir. Vengo, vienes, viene, venimos, vienen. And then oír, it's just a goofy verb. Oigo, I hear. Oigo que, oigo, oyes, you hear. Oye, oímos, oyen. For example, I went to the Ronald Reagan Museum and it is beautiful. I put the headset on and I didn't have it adjusted properly and I said, I can't hear anything. No oigo nada. No oigo nada. That would be a good use of oigo. I asked my wife, mi amor, my love. Mi querida, my love. Mi media naranja. Mi reina, my queen. ¿Oyes algo? Can you hear anything? ¿Oyes algo? Do you hear anything? ¿Oyes algo? And she said, sí, lo oigo todo. I hear it all. I got mine adjusted and we were good to go. So that's the verb oír. Okay? Oigo algo. I hear something. Lo oyes? Do you hear it? Okay, you got the go verbs? Hago, pongo, valgo, me caigo, traigo, salgo, digo, tengo, vengo, and oigo. With this first cluster, once you get past the go verb, throw it up and add your regular verb ending to it, and you're good to go, excepting the I in caigo and traigo. Get rid of that. Take the CA and the TRA up and conjugate it the rest of the way out. Decir, that guy you just got to learn on your own. Digo, dices, dice, decimos, dicen. It's easy to remember. It's spelled like dice, right? Like a pair of dice. There you go. Digo, dices, dice, decimos, dicen. Tener, we've already used it a million times. It's up in the module. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen. Venir, vengo. Vienes, viene, venimos, vienen. And oigo, we just went over oír. So these are the present tense go verbs. And remember, later on when you want to learn how to say, I hope they come to the party, it's going to be espero, just a regular AR verb, esperar, espero que, I hope that, espero que ellos. Okay, what I'm telling you right now, espero que ellos, that doesn't happen until like third, fourth year Spanish. You learn how to say a sentence like that in normal traditional Spanish, but that's not the way we're doing it here. We're jumping on this early on. But to say, I hope they come, espero que, then you take your vengo and you're going to change that O to an A and then conjugate it out the rest of the way. Espero que vengan, I hope they come. I hope she makes enchiladas. Espero que haga, with an A, enchiladas. I hope they put the money in the bank. Espero que pongan el dinero en el banco. I hope the houses are worth a lot. Espero que las casas valgan. Don't you see? Once you know your go verb, I get goosebumps right now. You're going to change that O to an A, and you've unlocked a whole new land of riches for Spanish. It's called the present subjunctive, but forget that. It's just how to say, like, you want somebody to do something, you hope somebody does something. Example, we learned necesitar the other day. I need, right? If I want to say, I need for you to tell the truth. Necesito que, I'm going to go to the go verb, I'm going to change that to an A, and I'm going to put an S on it. Necesito que digas la verdad. I need for you to hear this. Okay, necesito que, take oigo, change the O to an A and add an S. Necesito que oigas esto. I need for you not to fall. Necesito que no, change the pronoun to te, change that O to A and add S. Necesito que no te caigas. I need you to leave right now. Necesito que salgas, change the O to A. Necesito que salgas. Okay, I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but not really, because now you know how to say, I hope that, with any of these verbs. Like, I hope you have a great day. Espero que tengas un gran día. Hey, when I say all the time at the end, tengan un gran día, where do you think I get the tengan? Tengan comes from the verb tener, but it comes from the go verb, tango. Don't you see? And the O changes to A, and I want to make it for you guys, so you got to put the N on it. But I say, tengan un gran día. So I change the O to A, I've got tenga, and I put an N for the N factor for you guys. Tengan un gran día. If I want to tell you guys to come, it's vengo, change the O to A and put an N on it. Vengan, vengan, vengan. Don't you see? Tell the truth. Digan la verdad. Listen up. Oigan. People say it all the time. I'm getting excited here. Oigan. Listen up. Oigan. Salgan. Leave. Bring. Bring your books. Traigan sus libros. This is language learning module at its best. Okay? Don't fall. No se caigan. There it is. Put your money in the bank. Pongan su dinero en el banco. So these are our go verbs. There are 10 of them. Hago, pongo, valgo, me caigo, traigo, salgo, digo, tengo, vengo, and oigo. We know that we conjugate these just like a regular verb, except avoid the I in caerse and traer when we go up to conjugate them out as a regular verb. Decir is a special guy. Digo, dices, dice, decimos, dicen. Tener, we know. Tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tienen. Vengo, vienes, viene, venimos, vienen. And oigo, oyes, oyes, oyes. Oigo, oyes, oye, oímos, oyen. Now, do you realize what you know already? Seriously, this is crazy. I have goosebumps. Okay, look at your go verbs. Change it to an A, and that's the command that you would tell an usted person. You would say like, póngalo aquí, señor. Put it here, sir. No se caiga. Bring your papers. Traiga sus papeles. Leave. Salga, salga. Tell the truth. Diga la verdad. Have a great day, sir. Tenga un gran día, señor. Come tomorrow as well. Venga mañana también. Listen up. Oiga. So now you know how to give a command, right, with these go verbs to an usted person or to a group of people. Okay, that's enough for the go verbs. The go-go's, right? The go-go's. Thank you very much. Gracias por todo. Hasta la próxima lección. Tengan. Come on. Tengo, put an A and an N on it. Tengan un gran día. Listen up. Oigan. Tengo un gran día.